Hello there, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's your wayward skipper Tiki here on this expedition through the mighty jungles of Walt Disney World's Adventureland. But where am I recording this from? Well, I'm recording it out in some sort of bizarre radio tower in the middle of the jungle. That's right, you don't know where I am. Indeed, my location is as mysterious as that of one Albert Awol. Albert Awol was the world famous radio disc jockey for the Jungle Cruise. And one day he went off search of adventure, and specifically in search of the lost dodo bird. Albert Awol hasn't been seen since. And that leads us into the rest of our Adventureland refurbishment. We here at Team Baxter. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go into my regular voice. All right, transition into Tiki's regular voice. Still in the radio tower, but regular voice. We here at Team Baxter, we really wanted to do something that evoked the spirit of the Jungle Cruise, and we wanted to fix a few problem areas with Walt Disney World's Adventureland. So with that in mind, before we get into the big changes at play with the actual Jungle Cruise, let's get into this little thing right here. Now, this is this is totally not a Photoshop of Dollywood mixed with the magic carpet of Aladdin's Plaza. No, it's not. Yeah, it absolutely is. This is actually inspired by something that Dollywood did. And that's that they took out an attraction that was essentially just a giant waste of a footprint, kind of was like in the middle of a walkway. Remind you of anything? And you know what Dollywood did? They put in a splash pad, they put in some picnic areas. So my pitch for the Flying Carpets of Aladdin, Team Baxter's pitch, is we're going to have Aladdin's Oasis. Oh yes, a return to Aladdin's Oasis. We're going to keep the camels. We're going to keep some of the canopies, but we're going to very much have a kind of like an Agrabah vibe in this area. It can still potentially be used as a meet and greet. There will be some rocks. There will be maybe some tower turrets up there. I'm just using Wildwood Grove from Dollywood as kind of like a point of reference. Honestly, in this reference photo, I probably should have had like the Palace of Agrabah there or something. I don't know, some sort of forced perspective on the hill. You get the idea. The idea is basically just the main thing with this is to give Adventureland some breathing room. I want to keep the vibe of Aladdin because I think Aladdin deserves to be in Adventureland, but have it really kind of come alive. You don't need 3 Dumbo flat rides in the same park, Disney. You just don't. This is easily the least popular of the 3. Really open up that area. Make it so it's not a bottleneck. Make it so it's not like impossible to get to the Dole Whip stand and the Tiki Room. Yeah, I'm totally on board for this. Let's and like I said, I'm going to officially endorse this as basically like a meet and greet that can also double as just like a nice relaxation area when meet and greets aren't going on. So yeah, I think it'd be a very charming little place. On to the Tiki Room. The Tiki Room is going to be getting a brand new pre-show. Now, this is kind of taking the best of both worlds in regards to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. It's going to be taking some characters from Disneyland, but also incorporating it into the setting of Walt Disney World. Now, I am very much a fan of the Blaine Gibson sculptures and all that. I think it's a great part of Disney history. So let's move those over. Tangaroa, the father of all gods and goddesses. I'm sorry, guys, I have to do the whole thing now that I've said that. Here in this land of enchantment, I appear before you as a mighty tree. Stand back. O mystic powers, hear my call. From my limbs, let new life fall. All right, there you go. Yeah, Tangaroa absolutely deserves to be on both coasts. He's an iconic character. Father of all gods and goddesses, Thurl Ravencroft. You don't need to change a thing about that narration, really. But what I want to have happen is Tangaroa is essentially in the middle, and you see Pellet here, and now it's like, boys and girls, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess there is a Pellet Blaine Gibson figure already there, because it looks like it, unless someone just did a really good Photoshop job. So she's not really prominent, though, so I want to really get her more prominent. I want to make this kind of like a little bit of a Pele versus Negende battle. So there's going to be some rumbling. There's going to be a quote-unquote earthquake. The way we're going to accomplish the earthquake is the ceiling is going to kind of shake. That's going to be kind of in the foundation. Kind of similar to how the Gatlinburg earthquake ride works, where if you've ever seen footage of that, you see like kind of the poles shaking and all that. It's not really going to be too elaborate of an effect, but we're also very much going to have fire in the lagoon, kind of like a little mini Phantasmic for when Pele strikes. Tangaroa, like I said, it's like you need to have his dialogue be that Thurl Ravenscroft dialogue. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, has Corey Burden done Thurl Ravenscroft? Because if so, like, by all means, have Tangaroa, like the way I see it is that it could either be like they're trying to not wake up Tangaroa, or Tangaroa is like mediating between the two of them. But if Tangaroa is mediating between the two of them, obviously you need to have new dialogue, in which case, Corey Burden. Why not? Let's do it. All right, so that is Team Baxter's pitch for a new Tiki Room pre-show. Indeed, just to reiterate, we're gonna have Tangaroa in the middle of the theater, Pele off to one side, Negende to the other side, Pele causing some fire action, Negende causing an earthquake because he's the earth balancer and all that. I think it's going to make for a much more exciting show. I think it's going to make for a great kind of like introduction into the Tiki Room. Really excited for it. Okay, now let's go back to the initial mystery. Where indeed is Albert AWOL? Well, that is where we get into the backstory, boys and girls. That's where we get into the backstory of the project. Now, as you see in this newspaper clipping, Albert AWOL went looking for the lost dodo bird, but what he didn't anticipate was that it was migration season for jungle cats. And thus, that kind of leads into the new attraction, which has a big focus on jungle cats in the new scenes, which we'll get to. There's 3 scenes overall. There is Albert AWOL being chased up a radio tower by a group of laughing hyenas. And this is, of course, reminiscent of the Trap Safari, except the differences here are that the hyenas are a lot more fierce. It's not just the rhino. Like, obviously, with the Trap Safari, the rhino is kind of the centerpiece, and then the hyenas are kind of off to the sides. No, the hyenas are the threats here. Like, they are very much kind of like cackling at AWOL's dismay, and AWOL's just kind of like hanging on to that radio tower. And he's just like, oh, Albert AWOL here in the middle of the jungle. I hope someone can hear me. I stumbled upon this abandoned radio outpost, and, well, I've been here a few days, and, oh, boat! AWOL sees your boat pass, and he's like, and of course, it's an animatronic, very advanced animatronic, hanging on to the radio tower, but also kind of like stylized in that classic Mark Davis style. So, not like a super hyper realistic humanoid by any means. Very much kind of like a pirate style animatronic with very advanced movement. AWOL is just kind of desperately calling to your boat, like, hey, it's me, it's Albert AWOL. And your boat just kind of drives off because the skipper does not want to get into the sticky situation with the hyenas. But he is going to report back on it. Now, overall, through this whole thing, the backstory with AWOL is that AWOL is kind of like... Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me take a sip of my Arizona green tea. This project is not sponsored by Arizona Green Tea, but it is what I am drinking. So, Albert Awol is the key figure in the Skipper family. That is the big thing that I thought was missing from the Jungle Cruise movie, was the community of skippers. With that in mind, I really want to go all out with some of the cast member changes here. I really want all the skippers to feel more lived in. And of course, the skippers are some of the best cast members on Disney property. And I honestly just, my goal with this is not to shackle them. Quite the opposite. I want to give them more free reign. I want to give them essentially the chance to create their own elaborate characters with backstories and really get to decorate their boats inside and out. And, really get to customize their wardrobe and stuff of that nature. Just really get to bring out the personality in each individual skipper. They can name their boats. They can decorate their boats. Disney approved, of course. But there's going to be a bigger emphasis in Albert Awol in the queue. Of course, it's going to be very much kind of calling to mind Temple of the Forbidden Eye with, Albert Awol, the famous Jungle Cruise radio disc jockey, has gone missing. And, maybe we can even return the Keep Your Eye on the Globe for a little bit of Disney park synergy there. I don't know. But, I really want to stress the skippers basically being able to just go as customizable as they can with the actual. With the script, it's kind of like, I would say probably give them maybe a little bit more leeway, but it's tough because you do want to have the Albert Awol stuff in there too. But definitely in terms of customization, in terms of character backstory, in terms of the boat, in terms of the costume, they absolutely have free reign on that. And I think that'd be a great just thing to give these cast members to really get the ball rolling on it. All right, so the biggest new scene is not the Albert Awol scene. The Albert Awol scene is very much the kind of the catalyst of everything. It's kind of like the glue that holds everything together. But the big scene is going to be this right here, the cave scene. Now, we here at Team Baxter have always felt that the cave in the Walt Disney World Jungle Cruise a little bit underwhelming for what it is. Like, for what should be a really spectacular set piece, it's not all that interesting. You go in, you have a tiger, you see some cobras, that's about it. So my idea with this is that this cave is essentially a cave that different jungle cats are fighting over, and we are in the middle of it. So as you can see, we have like a darker interpretation of the lion with the sleeping zebra. They are on one side. A tiger is on another side. Both of these are pretty much static figures. But then, holy crap, we're going to get a walking on all fours, highly sophisticated animatronic of the jaguar. Now, this jaguar is going to be based on the one from the Jungle Cruise, but we're not just going to shout out like, oh, look, it's The Rock's jaguar from the Jungle Cruise movie. No, honestly, I just really like the design of this jaguar. It looks like he has a third eye in the middle of his other two eyes. And I just don't think that jaguars have really been represented in the Jungle Cruise. So this thing is going to be a highly advanced animatronic, able to walk out onto the river's edge, roar at you, and then the lights go dark. And that is where the crazy kind of like sounds dangerous stuff comes in. So that's where we really pump up the HD sound effects of the cats fighting each other. And then we end up with one last view of the jaguar victorious as he kind of claims his rightful spot in the cave and gives us a big roar on our way out. Now, this jaguar is going to be a less advanced animatronic, more advanced than the animatronics from the lion and tiger, but less advanced than the first one you see. Basically, like kind of like a head up, really realistic roar. So still very much a cool animatronic figure. All right, so this next one was pitched by Brer Panther, and this is going to essentially tie back around to the skipper community of it all. And of course, the skippers, they do not want to see poaching in the jungle. We are all about observing the animals, not poaching them. So with that in mind, this is going to be a finale scene that replaces Trader Sam. And I am going to just go ahead and read off from what Brer Panther wrote. And you know what, Brer Panther, because I like you, I'm going to read it in my little voice. All right. Just after leaving the elephant bathing pool, we see an unusual situation going on up the shore. A big game hunter, a pith helmet on his head, and a bushy mustache under his nose, stands atop the back of a goofy-looking elephant, holding a gun in his hands. Suddenly, the elephant points towards a nearby clump of bushes. The hunter quickly raises his gun and fires. Drifting further down the shore, we see that what exactly he fired at was an annoyed-looking tiger, whose bum has had his fur blown off as a result of the blast. According to the skipper, they've been having a problem with the big game hunters in the jungle recently. They reassure us that this hunter will get his comeuppance. After all, the jungle has no fury, like a tiger scorched. This quick little gag is sure to generate some laughs as the boat heads back to the loading area. And guys, I really kind of messed up. I'm gonna go ahead and give some props here because I really should have put this image in the. Hold on, let me go ahead and. Sorry guys. Let me go ahead and screen share out of this, and I want to show you all this one last image just to showcase exactly what this scene is going for, humor-wise. And this is, of course, an actual scene that was conceived by Mark Davis. This is actual Mark Davis concept art, as far as I know. So Brer Panther is essentially adapting this scene. And so, yeah, that is the finale. Now, essentially what this finale kind of entails is the skipper's mission statement towards protecting the jungle. So, with all that being said, we have the traders. We have the Albert AWOL plot, and the Albert AWOL plot, I want to emphasize, can kind of be felt throughout the main, all of the Jungle Cruise, all of Adventureland. You can see kind of like the where is Albert AWOL posters. It's a big focal point of the land. It's kind of like I want it to be like a land-wide mystery. So with that in mind, guys, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I did do this as a video because I wanted to kind of cut down on my writing because, frankly, I've just kind of had a little bit of writer's block recently just in terms of putting pen to paper. But this was a good experiment, and I hope y'all like it because I really tried to go as unique with it as I can. I have no idea if you guys can even hear the jungle sounds in the background, but if you can, that's great. But yeah, I think this is a really fun project. I really like getting to work on more Albert AWOL stuff. And the Tiki Room and Magic Carpets of Aladdin stuff, I also think would work really well with the surrounding Adventureland area. So overall, I think it's a fun little refurb, and I hope y'all like it. Have a good day, everyone.